Hello, good evening everyone. This is Kenny for his second video blog on his show garden at RHS Malvern. Tonight I'm going to continue with the theme of introducing you to the plants that I'm going to use. And the second major group of plants that I'm going to use in my show gardens is the bamboo group. So I'm going to introduce you to three varieties of bamboo that I would be hoping to source to include in my show garden. So, oh, a glass of wine. Cheers. Uh, so let's kick off with the first species of bamboo that I'm hoping to use, which you can see on the image behind me on this screen. It's a it comes from the Borinda family, and the picture that you're actually looking at is Borinda luciensis Yunnan. It's a very recently introduced bamboo that has that's been coping with the UK climate so far. It's the oldest plant so far in the UK is in Cornwall, and it has grown over 10 meters tall. So it's actually a very big bamboo, and I'm hoping to get one of them in my garden, about a specimen size, 2 to 3 meters tall. Uh, Hopefully bigger. I just wanted to give an impact or the volume and the height impact, and that's why I'm choosing this particular species. As you can see in the second image, it's also a Borinda. You can see that one of the main attraction of this species is its blue culm. For those who are not familiar with the vocabulary, culm is basically the stem, and so you can see in this image the culms are actually blue, grayish blue, and it's absolutely stunning. It's one of those bamboos with thick culms, and here's a close-up that I found. You can see the blue is absolutely stunning. Sometimes it also has a sheath that covers the culm, and it gives it a certain extra texture and also interest, really. And what else can I talk about the Borinda? Well, basically it's going to be one of the three bamboo that I'm hoping to use. They're pretty expensive, and there are not many big specimens around in nurseries. I've been trying to look for a few in a few nurseries, but it's not easy, and they're rather dear. Right, and oh, by the way, you might be asking why am I wearing a hat, or what Lisa would say, my friend from Canada would say, a beanie. I'm now in my makeshift office, and the heater is not working, so it's a bit chilly. And yeah, so right, moving on. The second species that I'm hoping to use, it's a bamboo from the Fragesia family. Uh, they were. It's quite popular in the UK, as far as I understand. I think the last popular variety in the UK was called Fragesia nitida, and from what I learned, it flowered recently. And as most of you may or may not know, when cultivated bamboo flower, uh, most of its clone would flower at the same time, and they would die afterwards. So people have been trying to reintroduce new Fagesias, and the Fagesia that I'm actually hoping to use, it's called Fagesia utilis. and this is a picture of a Fagecia utilis, I believe. And as you can see, it's also it's quite dense. The culms are not as big as the Borinda, and I've always loved Fagecias because of the very small leaves, and they grow rather tall as well. And I'm hoping to incorporate a specimen about 2 to 3 meters tall as well in my garden. And so here is another picture. It's very bushy and very dense, so I presume it will be very useful for hedge, for a hedge, or for if you want to plant it by as a border between your garden and the next. This is a very interesting Fagecia I have recently bought myself. They're pretty small, as you can see. The culms are actually red, brownish when they're young, before they turn into green in the summer. And the characteristic small leaves are still there. And this variety is called Fagecia nitida, variety Jiuzhaigou. Jiuzhaigou is a region in China, in Sichuan, that where you can find these bamboo as a native plant growing in the very nice Jiuzhaigou Valley. And I actually wanted to go there this last summer, but time didn't permit when I was in China. So as you can see, it's one of the most beautiful bamboo that I've seen so far. And the interesting thing with Fagecias is that they have bursts of leaves that come out in between the culm's node. I find it absolutely stunning. Here is another close-up of Fagecia's culms. It's slightly tinted with blue as well in this variety. I'm not so sure about the variety of the image. I got them from Google. And so it's another spectacular bamboo that I'm hoping to incorporate in my garden. Alright, the next bamboo that I'm going to use, it's I think it's quite common. It's not as common as Philotachys, and but I think it's been around in the West for quite some time. It's called Semiarundinaria fastuosa, or the other name for it is temple bamboo. It's native to Japan, and fastuosa, for those who know Latin, basically means stately. So I'm going to show you a picture of it. It's one of the biggest bamboo. Well, it can grow very big in the right climate, and I'm not so sure how big they will grow, but they get pretty big. And as well as the other two, I'm hoping to get at least one specimen that are rather big in my garden, and some other smaller ones just to fill in the gaps. So as you can see in this picture behind me, it grows very tall, very straight, and so I think it will give a very good vertical architecture to my garden. Here's another picture of Semiarundinaria. It's a bit of a mouthful, and as you can see, the culms are actually stunning as well, with a tint of red. I think this is a different variety, but I might be wrong. And so this is another picture of how it looks like grown in the open. As you can see, it has a very straight growth, fastigiate basically. And this is another image of a Semiarundinaria fastuosa. So these are the three main varieties of bamboo that I'm hoping to use in my garden. So Still no luck finding them. If I can't find them, I might be using Philotachys to replace one of them. Or if I can't find any of the three that I actually am interested in using, then I might go for three varieties of Philotachys. They would be Philotachys nigra, which is very popular at the moment. You can see that you can find them at every garden center in the UK, up and down. Philotachys aurea, and a slightly rare Philotachys called Philotachys dulcis. It's the slightly thicker. It's a Philotachys with a slightly thicker culm. So that's basically my selection for bamboo, and so this is update for this week. Really, I hope to see you soon with further updates. I have some encouraging news from a garden centre near Malvern. They seems to be very interested to supply me and donate several alpines for me. I'm also trying to source other slightly more interesting and exotic alpines, and some I might actually try to incorporate alpine orchids as well. For those uh, whom are not aware of the variety of orchids, you actually have alpine orchids. So one of them is called Pleones. The organizer of the RHS Malvern show, called Nina, she introduced me to this species called Pleones, and I've been looking up on it, and it's actually absolutely stunning. I might also incorporate Cyperidiums, for example, which is a native UK orchid, lady sleeper or slipper orchid, and it's also another splendid example of the orchid family. So that's still to be confirmed, really, and I hope to get some more information by the end of next week, if it's possible to actually incorporate it into my garden. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this installment, and hope to see you again very soon. Bye.